Morning guys, welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for joining me for another monthly net worth update. Today's video, as you can see from the title, is for May 2023. So as per usual, I will be going through each of my accounts, letting you know the balance, what the changes were or are from the previous month. And then I've also added a little section after this, which is income. I'll be going through each stream of income, what the amounts were for May, and I'm going to be adding this going forward. Once we've gone through all the numbers, I will go into some life updates later in the video, so stick around for that. If you're excited, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and jump right into the numbers. First up on the list is equity. I own a condo back in Calgary, and it currently sits at $51,750. I do have tenants in this place right now, so it does go up a consistent amount. This month it went up about $445. Next on the list is my RRSP, or my Registered Retirement Savings Plan. That sits at a balance of $48,419, which is a decrease from April of $126. I haven't put money into this account in over a year now, so this ebbs and flows depending on what the market is doing. And if you haven't seen my other net worth videos, I am 100% invested in the Vanguard All Equity Fund, which is VEQT. Next on the list is my DCPP, or Defined Contribution Pension Plan. This is left over from a previous job, and that sits at $3,540, and that's a decrease from April of just $9. So same thing with my RRSP. It's invested in the Vanguard All Equity Fund completely. My TFSA, or tax-free savings account, sits at a balance of $11,816. That is a decrease of $79 from April. My vehicle that I own in New Zealand, my portion of that is valued at $1,500. The amount of cash I currently have is $10,073. This is a decrease from April of $217. The reason I have so much cash is because I'm currently living in New Zealand with my partner, and it's good to have just a little bank of cash if anything big comes up. Also, because I'm not working over the next 2 months, I will be dipping into that cash reserve to pay for normal everyday expenses. That brings our grand total net worth for May 2023 to $127,098. So this is interesting. It's actually an increase from April of $14, even though May was a pretty expensive month, which I will get into a little bit later. But now we're going to jump into income. This is something I haven't included in previous videos. I thought it might be interesting for you guys to know exactly where my income comes from and at what amounts. I am currently CoastFIRE, so I don't have to put any more money into my retirement savings to have a comfortable retirement at 65 in Canada. However, I do like to give you guys as much information as possible, and I'm not working a traditional job at this point. So let's go through my income sources and what amounts they were in May. So I've been working at a craft brewery in Auckland for the last 3 months or so. We've just moved down to the South Island, so I have left that job. So in May, I ended up working a little bit closer to full-time hours, and I made 2,133 Canadian dollars working at the craft brewery. I do make money in New Zealand dollars. I just did a conversion to keep all the numbers consistent. My partner and I also got a delayed refund from our tax return in Canada, and that brought in for me 700 Canadian dollars. I also make $500 Canadian every month in rental income for the property that I own back in Calgary. So like I mentioned earlier, May was a pretty expensive month for us, mainly because we did our South road trip. If you haven't seen that video and you're interested, I'll link it above and down below for you guys. But we did end up spending about 1,100 New Zealand dollars each, which is equivalent to about 900 Canadian. So May was an expensive month, but I still was able to see a little bit of a gain in my net worth just because I had quite a bit of income coming in. I'm happy to see that my net worth hasn't been taking as much of a hit as I was expecting getting into this trip. I have spent quite a bit of money that I would say is like unrecoverable. Now we're going to move into life updates. So yes, we are on the South Island now. We're in a country farm stay on like an equestrian farm, and stay tuned, there will be an Airbnb tour coming for the place that we're in right now. So far, this is the best Airbnb. It's also the least expensive. It was just over 1,300 Canadian for the entire month. All of the other places have been over $1,500 or $1,600, and this is the nicest place. It is a little bit further away from like a city center, but it's really only like a 25-minute drive into Christchurch for us, so that's really not bad. The huge thing about this place is that it is a completely separate unit. It is on the same property as the main building, but it's like a completely detached unit. It has an separate like office space. It has a huge bedroom. You can see behind me here, like a full kitchen, an oven, a full-size fridge. We even have like a little outdoor patio out front. So we've absolutely been loving this place. We wish we could stay here longer term, but it's already been booked up for the next few months, so that's not going to be an option. Plus, we have other Airbnbs already booked. We're already a week into our Christchurch/Burnham stay, and I did want to focus on YouTube during these next couple of months. I am now monetized, if you guys didn't know, and the channel is making about $3 Canadian per day at the minute. So really, it's not that much, but I'm hoping the more work I put into it, the more output I'm going to see. And I haven't been paid from YouTube yet because you have to meet a $100 threshold before they pay you out. So going forward, I will include that in these videos under the income section once I actually start getting paid. Going back to talking about the Airbnb and where we are right now, I'm really enjoying Christchurch so far. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting. I believe the population is under 400,000 people. And when you go downtown to like the main city center, it's quite small. They did have a major earthquake in 2011, so it makes sense they've had to rebuild pretty much everything in the downtown area, and a lot of buildings are shorter. You don't see many like high rises. I don't know if there are any like major high rises here at all. It has a bit of an old town charm, which I really like. It's actually quite affordable. I've been looking at rental properties in each area that we've been interested in like settling down in a little bit, and this is by far the most affordable for the nicest properties. I don't know what the job market is like here. I'm not sure if it's easy to find a job or not, but there are about 6 or 7 craft breweries just within like a 20-minute drive of each other. So we're gonna do a brewery tour. All the breweries that look cool to myself and my partner, we're gonna go and have a day where we check out each one. I don't really drink alcohol anymore. However, I will like have a few sips of different beers, but I do love the industry and I would like to continue to work in it. So by doing this brewery tour, it's more for me to see which places would be good fits for me to work. And once we're done our next few months of travel, which I'll talk about in a minute, if we decide Christchurch is where we want to settle down, I will be applying for jobs in each brewery or any breweries here that I find to be maybe a good fit. So travel, what is upcoming for us? Where are we going? What's going on? If you guys are interested in following along with our travels, we just ended up booking tickets to Beervana, which is New Zealand's best, possibly biggest craft beer event, and it is hosted in Wellington in August. August is the middle of winter or the end of winter in the southern hemisphere, so it's going to be chilly out, but we ended up booking tickets, we booked flights, and we're going to be there in August, so we're really looking forward to that. Another big thing in August, yesterday, I ended up booking All Blacks tickets. So they only play so far in 2023 in New Zealand twice. There is a 2023 Rugby World Cup, which is being hosted in France, and we're not going to be going to that. But they are playing in Dunedin, which is the only match on the South Island this year, and tickets were $80 each. I was lucky enough to get like regular price tickets, not resale tickets. And then we ended up finding an Airbnb that was north of Dunedin, about a half-hour drive, because Dunedin's like completely sold out for about $90 a night. So I think we got really lucky with that. We're going to be in Nelson in August, so it's going to be a 9-hour drive. Stay tuned for that. We're going to do a whole video about the drive down to Dunedin and what it's like being at an All Blacks game. This is something that's been on our bucket lists, I think, since we started talking about moving here. And they really don't play that often in New Zealand, especially this year. So while we're in this area we are right now in Burnham and Christchurch, we are kind of taking a break. We're focusing more on YouTube and getting a lot of work done, mainly because the area we're in right now is further away from the city center, but also it's just like perfectly set up for us to do work because it has a separate office space and there's like great lighting. Next month, we're making our way down to an area called Roxburgh, which is pretty much right in the middle of like Dunedin, Queenstown, and Invercargill. From Roxburgh, it's like an hour to each town or each space. So we're going to be doing a ton of exploring, hopefully not much in terms of spending money. Like we will have to pay for gas, which is expensive, but it'll be road trips to and from all these different areas. We're considering going down to Stewart Island. If you guys are from New Zealand and you've been there, let me know in the comments below if it's worth going down there. It looks like you can only do like a passenger ferry and then rent a car there to drive around, but I'm curious if it's worth it to go down there or if going to like Bluff is cool and good enough. Thanks for joining me for another net worth update. Leave me a comment down below about how your month was, what your net worth is looking like. I love to hear from you guys. I love to go back and forth with you guys in the comments, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next video. Bye.